It's been a while since I've done one of my own games. Now, if you've been watching me for a bit or you know me, you'll know I'm first of all playing five color niv to light, bring to niv, whatever you want to call it. But also that you'll know that I'm usually not too keen on casting my own games because I know how they're gonna end. I know all the twists and turns, and just watching them back is just not as fun as watching all of the other games because they're completely new to me. But it happens. We'll make it work. My opponent for this round is going to be our anonymous My Little Pony fan here playing Amulet Titan. We've seen him around a couple times. I swear to God, this player is cursed. Because whenever he's on camera, something happens. Either there's a lighting issue, or there's a recording issue, or something. Every single time. I have no idea how, but yeah, that is an actual thing. But this game should be just on coverage and no issues. So we'll have to wait and see. I got my fingers crossed. I'm starting us off here with a snow-covered forest and a Utopia Sprawl, usually on red. Looks like that is on red, yeah. Very aggressively gonna fire off that lightning helix. Usually not too great against Amulet Titan, because most of the creatures are going to be like 4 or 6 toughness, so it is what it is. Our Amulet Titan player starting Ghost Quarter and Amulet of Vigor. That's a pretty decent start. Definitely. We're gonna see some very good Amulet Titan shenanigans here. Gonna play the Karoo land, untap it, and then after making mana, bounce it to itself. That's gonna pay for the Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Get some more land drops down. Gonna pick up the Ghost Quarter and say go. Now, there is an argument to be made here for maybe Ghost Quartering the Snow-Covered Forest to try and deny me some mana, because that does get rid of the Utopia Sprawl. But it always kind of depends on what the rest of the hand is, how the game is going. So here he decides not to do it. That is a turn 3 Bring to Light here. That's normally a pretty decent opening. Absolutely. Just getting one of the cards your deck is named for, and then casting it on turn 3 when it's actually 5 mana. Yeah, that's usually pretty good. It's also always a joy to look for cards in an 80 card deck, because you might have noticed I am playing a Yorion, so I do have 80 cards in my deck. Unmoored Ego coming down here. Let's see, what was this again? It was Arboreal Grazer, Ghost Quarter that we just saw. We have the Teleria West. We have Summoner's Pact, and we have the Simmon Grove Chamber that we also saw. Primeval Titan being named is going to get removed from his deck. And I'm not sure if it's shown completely, but I'm asking for whatever kind of threats he has. He might show it anyway. He's showing the Arboreal Grazer because that was a new addition to his deck. He just wanted to kind of show off. We've known each other for quite a bit. We see each other every week. So, at a certain point, if somebody makes a change in their deck, you just name the change. You don't have to show your entire deck. It's just easier. Okay, so it's not shown, but one of the other cards that I need to be wary of from this point forward is going to be Hive Mind. What is Hive Mind, you might ask? Well, it's a enchantment. I think it's 4 and 2 blue, so 6 in total. I'm gonna look it up just to be sure. So it's 5 and 1 blue. Okay, it's a little easier to cast. What it does is that whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery, each other player gets a copy that they also have to cast. Why does that matter? Well, you're playing a deck with 4 Summoners Pact and a Force of Pact of Negation. Sorry, not Force of Negation, Pact. If you play Hive Mind and then just drop a bunch of Pacts, you pass the turn, and your opponent, who unfortunately also had to cast the Summoner's Pact, now has to pay for the Summoner's Pact. Now, if your deck doesn't play green, Summoner's Pact just straight up kills you, because you have no way of making the double green that you need. If you do have green, it's still double green, so that can be rough. It's also 4 mana in total, so that can also be rough. We actually see the Hive Mind here. Wait, was it not an Arboreal Grazer? No, it wasn't a Arboreal Grazer. My apologies. It was the Hive Mind already. So, I know my opponent no longer has Primeval Titan. His only win condition is the Hive Mind. Now, he's just gotten the Pact of Negation. I know I'm going to probably have to play around being able to pay for the Pact. That is most likely going to be the way this game is going to end. Now, I'm Niftalite. Big mana? Not a problem. Tough color requirements? Not that big a problem. I don't have double blue right now, but I do have the Birds of Paradise. So, I also just drew, or at least I played a Misty Rainforest. So, I can actually pay for the Pact of Negation. I don't remember what I had in hand, I also can't quite see it, but something that the Amulet Titan player is going to have to consider is that even if the Hive Mind resolves, there is always the possibility that I have some answer to it. Whatever that may be. It's most likely going to be Assassin's Trophy. There's also the possibility of Vanishing Verse. That, I think, is pretty much it. I mean, he could be concerned that I'm playing Vindicate, but spoiler alert, I'm not playing Vindicate, so that's not gonna do it. 5 mana is going to be another Bring to Light being played here. Bring to Light would be able to fetch like an Assassin's Trophy or Vanishing Verse after the Hive Mind is already played. But unfortunately, without a Teferi, that's going to be at sorcery speed, not instant speed. It's just a value niv-mizzet. Just making sure I have all my colors of mana. Playing the Niv. Maiden player kinda sorta showing a card that may be relevant real fast. I'm kinda not gonna spoil it yet, but yeah, if you can, look at his hand. Maybe you can spot the problem. Now remember, the Teleria West was transmuted for a Pact of Negation. So I know he has the Pact, I know he has the Hive Mind, I know he's gonna keep the Pact. Probably for when the Hive Mind's on the field. Like, at the very least, I know that much. Now, this is a pretty good Niv. It's a Renin 6, a Lightning Helix, a Kaya's Guile, and in fact the Assassin's Trophy. So the trophy is going to be a pretty effective answer against a 6 mana enchantment. Should I ever untap with my mana? Lightning player gonna make 6 mana using his extra land drops off the singular extra land drop off the Dryad. Wait, I'm thinking. No, actually, no. The transmute was for the Summoner's Pact. Was it? No, okay. Whatever. Anyway, the Summoner's Pact is cast by both of us. Then the Arboreal Grazers is getting cast and is going to get active negated by both of us. And then, while I can pay for both of them separately, I have to pay for both of them at the same time, which is 9 mana, which is more than I have, and we are going to game 2. Now, for game 2, I am keeping 7, and the Titan player is on a mulligan to 6. I'm gonna start Godless Shrine Go. That's not the best. Usually, you want to see a green land or a fetch when you're playing the Niv deck. Godless Shrine is not the best opening at all. Now, from the sideboard, from my end, thinking. I'm not sure if I had a second Unmoored Ego. I don't believe I did. And otherwise, I don't really have any relevant sideboard cards. Like, there's an argument to be made for bringing in Fatal Push. I didn't. Also a good argument to be made against Fatal Push, so... Just, yeah, it does nothing against Primeval Titan, which is going to be the thing that's going to kill you. Now, from the Titan side, what are we looking at? We have the possibility of engineered explosives. That could be something we're considering, trying to get rid of all the 1 mana enchantments and the Birds of Paradise and stuff and things. Other than that, Dismember? No. No. I wouldn't bring it in. You could, I wouldn't. but we'll have to see here. Now, pretty slow opener from my end here, with a fairly early Valakut here from the Titan player. Also, the Arboreal Grazer is speeding up this game. Picking up the breeding pool. Gonna play a second Arboreal Grazer. And I was that the same card? Like the Zendikar Expeditions, the original ones. They're beautiful cards. But I cannot, for the life of me, tell them apart. Now, I actually did discuss this with the Titan player, and he told me he was playing a Mardu deck in Pioneer once, also with just all just Zendikar Expeditions. And apparently he looked at his 7. He thought, oh yeah, you know what, I'm gonna keep this. Then a minute later, he looked at his hand again and was like, oh wait, these are not the lands I thought they were. This hand is garbage. And actually lost that game because of it. So like, these are beautiful lands. They are incredibly awkward. And they are incredibly awkward to cast. But I'm checking if it's the breeding. I think it's the breeding pool again, right? View all prints. Yeah, it's the breeding pool again. Actually, the new the Zendikar Rising Expedition cards I absolutely love, because they are pretty different, just like the original expeditions. But they're still really recognizable. As far as I'm concerned, absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love them. If I was still playing blue-white control, I would have gotten a playset of Celestial Colonnades. And that's saying something. Because I don't foil. At all. Like, I don't like foils. I always get the cheapest version of any card, because whatever money I save on that, I just use to get more cards. Like, make no mistake, just because my average card price is lower doesn't mean that I spend any less on Magic. Anyone who's played Magic will know it's like AA. Like F&M, you sit down and it's like, hi, I'm Rob, and I play Magic the Gathering. It's true. It's true. But anyway, I'm still not doing much. I'm just sitting there. I'm playing some lands. I cantripped off an Abundant Growth. Meanwhile, the Titan players is ramping. The Titan players killing my Abundant Growth. So I literally, all I did was draw cards and patch lands. I'm doing great. How are you? Now, can I see what the Titan player is holding? I think that's the Slayer Stronghold, and the other card is the Valakut that was picked up with whatever Karoo land we're playing today. I don't know. I fetched a Temple Garden tapped. Now the question is am I maybe playing an on-math? Is that gonna do anything? Okay. I just completely forgot game 2. Game 1 I remembered. Like, it's not hard to forget because the Titan player has been bugging me to cast this game for a bit. Definitely, because that game 1 was just, yeah, it was everything that he loves in Magic, pretty much. So, this one goes out to you. Hopefully, we're gonna see more of him in the future. I'm particularly hoping that one of his newer decks is gonna be on camera. He has a really cool deck that it's not a modern deck; it's a legacy deck. But I really hope that we're gonna be able to see that on camera at some point. We've seen him play Esper Vile already. That's usually his go-to deck in Legacy. But yeah, this player has a bunch more decks. Recently, it's mostly been just Esper Vile, Amulet Titan. Now he did say he was getting kind of burned out on Amulet Titan. That's fair. Amulet Titan has been kind of all over the place the past couple months. It was really, really present at the start of Modern Horizons 2, and then just kind of fell off again. So I know in the past he's played a lot of 8 rack. Apparently that deck is just completely unplayable at this point. Which, I mean, it's a little unfortunate because it's an old deck that kind of just lost its place in the meta. I always just kind of pour one out for all the fallen decks over the years. Even though it's 8 rack, I mean, yeah, you love it or you hate it. And like, it exists. Now, Kaya's Gal coming out here is gonna make him sack a creature, which is going to be the Arboreal Grazer, and then the 1/1 flyer, which is going to block the Reclamation Sage. Unfortunately, there is still a Primeval Titan on the field, as well as an Arboreal Grazer, so a second Guile wouldn't be enough here. It needs some sort of actual removal, which I am playing plenty of. But I think if I had that, I would have played it already. Like, the Primeval Titan needs to die now, and if it's not dying, then because I can't make it. But still holding the Pact of Negation after transmuting Teleria West. And a nice little trick you can do with Primeval Titan when you have an amulet is just you get Simic Growth Chamber and a Teleria West. They both untap. You float 2 blue and a green, and then with the bounce trigger, you pick up the Teleria West and have it transmute itself, which is like it's one of those neat tricks. Amulet Titan. It's one of the reasons you probably play the deck. Another reason is the fact that you're holding that you're playing a big ass Titan that then fetches Slayer Stronghold and Sunholm. Also, one of the spectators really impressed with the old bordered foil Primefold Titan from Modern Horizons 2. Just in the middle of my game, man. I forgot who it was. I think it was Ricardo. Could have been Seba. Like that's usually the people to do that. So you both get a shout out. Enjoy. I've actually had I think both of them. No, it was Seba who offered to cast a couple games, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get Ricardo on the call, and you'll have a bunch of banter between the two of us. It's gonna be great." So if you want a couple of games being cast by Seba and Ricardo, then please by all means put it in the comments. I'll make it happen. Speaking of, there might be some guest commentary coming up pretty soon, actually. I'm working on some things. I'm not going to say who or what yet, because I don't actually know for sure that it is a thing that's happening. But if it is, I'm sure you'll love it. He's a great guy. He's maybe a little camera shy. Nah, if it happens, it'll happen. If not, then you'll suddenly see a bunch of games from weeks past come up. Actually, it should be from Legacy from quote unquote tomorrow. This game was played on the 20th of July, and if all goes well, he'll be casting Legacy for the 21st of July. That's the day after this was recorded. He was nice enough to record some things, because I couldn't actually make it that day. I had my second shot, and I figured, you know what? I'm not gonna take that chance. I might be feeling a bit sick. I'm not gonna go to 4 rounds of Legacy in the middle of the city. That did not seem like a good idea. So, yeah, I made sure to cover my ass for that day and just take it easy. And I'm glad I did, actually, because the second shot, I actually felt a bit feverish for a couple days. Nothing too serious, but I got the shot on. What is it? I got the shot on Wednesday. Then Thursday evening, I tried to pick up a bottle of water, and I felt lightheaded. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm calling in sick tomorrow. This isn't happening. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure if I had actually gone to Magic, I would not have had a good time. So, now we have Bring to Light coming out here. What can the Bring to Light get here? I mean, you kind of want to just answer the board here, right? You can get a niv, but if you get niv, then you open up the Titan to just you open up the Titan to get a free attack in. Oh! No, 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 no. I just remembered what is happening here. I am Bring to Lighting for Supreme Verdict. I boarded it out. Yeah, that's what happened. I ported it out. Which means I'm not going to be able to get rid of both the Titan and the Dryad. Which means I'm going to have to choose one or the other. And I'm going to use Tybalt Cosmic Imposter to get rid of it. Now, for those of you who don't know Tybalt, we had a bit of a thing where you could cascade into the front half of this card, which is Valky. Don't remember what the name was. Valky, God of Lies. Yeah. So you could cascade into Valky because it's 2 mana, so any 3 mana plus cascade spell would get Valky. Then off the cascade you could cast the backside, which is Tybalt, a 7 mana planeswalker that pretty much wins the game on turn 3. But you're not supposed to cast it on turn 3. So they ended up changing the cascade ruling, which didn't affect cards like Bring to Light. Now, to be fair, the difference between a 3 mana Planeswalker that wins the game and a 5 mana Planeswalker that wins the game is quite significant, so Tybalt is definitely a lot more fair now, but it's still just a neat little thing you can do with Bring to Light. It's just get Tybalt. In some cases, like if your opponent only has 1 threat, or they're playing like a control deck and the Tybalt actually hits the field, it just completely takes over the game. Just being able to draw 2 extra cards every turn, including something your opponent is playing, is just too much. Now, in the meantime, we have our Amulet Titan player with a second Primeval Titan is going to get Valakut Vesuva and already has a Valakut on the field. So just a bunch of damage thanks to Dryad, and is going to win this round 2-0.